Let me set the scene for you. You're on a beach in Thailand with the bluest water and the amazing views behind you, and all you want with it is a nice cold beer. But because you didn't budget properly, now you're surviving on seawater.
That's a little salty.
Before I went to Costa Rica, I didn't budget properly, and this led to me having to borrow money from people, which is quite embarrassing, I think, at least for me. Once I got back, getting my job and having to pay them all back. This was really stressful, obviously, and I hope that none of you get put in that same position that I was in. So I'm going to try and use my experience to help you guys understand how important it is to budget before you go backpacking around Southeast Asia. Firstly, it would really help you if you understood exactly where you were going around Southeast Asia. For example, in the last video I did with you guys, we planned where we wanted to go, we pinpointed exactly what we wanted to see in Southeast Asia, which helped us create our plan and our travel kind of route. There was a lot of waving the hands around that. But by having that plan, what that's going to do is essentially just help the next few steps just kind of fall into place, because you're going to know exactly what to do. If you haven't got that plan already, I'd suggest go watching that video through to get a bit of an understanding of exactly where you're going to be going. And obviously a big part of the budget is going to be the travel duration. How long are you going to be traveling for? It could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, it could be
1 year. I could see that as a very real possibility.
That's obviously going to have a big impact on your budget. So I've left a template that I found online, which helps me plan for my trips. I've been using this template for a few years now. And this template that I listed down in the description is going to help you just list off a few of the things that you're going to be spending your money on while in Southeast Asia. So a big part of spending your money in Southeast Asia is going to be transportation. So that could be flights from home to Asia, or Asia to home, or even around Asia itself. So flights from Vietnam to Cambodia, or transportation like buses, trains, and the cheaper options like tuk-tuks and shared rides. I would consider using budget airlines and maybe a bus instead of a train. It might challenge your comfort, but saving money, especially when traveling, is the best way to have a longer trip and a better trip. And that leads me to the next point, which you're definitely going to be spending a lot of money on in Southeast Asia, and that's going to be accommodation. Accommodation is obviously essential. You have to sleep somewhere. Unless you're doing a road trip around the USA, for example, we stayed in Walmarts, which were free. We'd stay in the car, not inside Walmart. But look into budget accommodations like hostels, maybe some guest houses, and also budget hotels. Online platforms like Hostelworld, Booking.com, Airbnb, they help you find affordable places to stay. And the third main thing you're going to be spending a lot of money on in Southeast Asia is obviously food. I would recommend looking for the cheaper options like street food. Obviously, have your wits about of maybe not eating that if it looks, like you're going to be spending the next 5 hours on a ceramic bowl. But you're gonna know what to eat. And if not, let me know and I'll do a video about it. But I would also recommend just going with street food and the local cuisine to experience the culture and save money. The fourth main thing that you're gonna be spending your money on while traveling will be activities, sightseeing. Plan activities for each location. Some may have entrance fees, some may not. Check visa requirements. I would recommend using Passport Index, so finding out what your passport requires for specific countries. Passport Index has a lot of information about your passport and what you can do with your passport. So the next thing you're going to want to put in your budget is travel insurance. While traveling, it's crucial to have travel insurance in case of emergencies and unforeseen events. And also the main thing is make sure they're reliable. For those of you who know, I got robbed in Costa Rica, and so it can happen. And especially if you don't have good insurance companies like I had, World Nomads was the insurance company I had, and out of all the stuff that I got stolen, I got £50 of £2,000 worth of equipment. I got £50. So cheers, World Nomads. I wouldn't recommend using them. There are so many different insurance companies that you can use. I'll link them all in the description. You guys can have a look through which one you think suits you best for your trips. The last thing you're going to want to include in your budget is an emergency fund. There may be moments where you feel sick or unwell or whatever, and you want to just book a hotel for a night or two. have a bit more luxury, because you know you're going to be in uncomfortable situations for a lot of your trip, especially if you're backpacking around Southeast Asia. There are things like shared bathrooms that you may not want to have for a while if you've got the shits. Simple as that. That's what I would use an emergency fund for, but there are obviously so many different things that you may need it for. But what I would do now is two things. I would create a daily spending allowance, and I would also track my expenses, everything that I'm paying for. Like for example, I go out to street food, and let's say I spend £3 worth of food or $3 worth of food. I write that in my book, and I know that if I go to another street food place and I can't remember how much I normally pay, I look at my notes and go, well, I normally spend about £3. This is not within my budget. This is not maybe reliable. Maybe it's a bit of a scam. Not just food, obviously everything, but having that written down and understanding exactly how much you're spending, why you're spending, and what you're spending it on can help you create that daily budget or that daily allowance, so that you can stay on top of your budget. I'd recommend maybe to include accommodation, food, and activities. I'd probably say, and transportation. Oh God, I'd probably say about £50 $50 a day. There may be transportation that's a bit more expensive, same with accommodation, depending on where you are. But that's the whole point of having a budget, because it lets you travel with ease, and it also makes you feel really secure. If you're feeling more comfortable with traveling with your budget, I'd also recommend this video, which is going to help you feel safe when you're traveling. It's really essential to feel safe. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of dangers out there, especially in Southeast Asia, and for those of you who know my past in Costa Rica, to be aware of. So that video is going to help you there. Stay safe and stay healthy when traveling. But if you enjoyed this video, please like it. That would really mean a lot to me. And if you want to see more videos like this, then you have to subscribe. I'm sorry, you just have to. Right, see you around, guys. Go watch the other videos because they're good like this one. Cheers.